Hey guys, I have a problem. Actually, I have two problems. Two big problems. There's one, there's two. Two of my staple, trustworthy diagnostic test equipment tools have failed. You may have seen them in some recent videos, depending on what order I post this footage in. It cost me a lot of time and a lot of tears because I assumed the problems were in the sets I was working on, not these. So, this is a B&K 440 CRT tester, which is just giving garbage readings. Complete nonsense. I used it to test the picture tube in a Zenith Flashmatic, and I wrote it off as being bad, and Self-Review offered me to sell me one, or I've already made plans to swap one out of another set. I haven't retested it yet. It's probably just fine, or at least has some life left. Now this is even more frustrating. This is my 5AXP test CRT. It's a ruggedized 5-inch picture tube that is auto-focusing. It can take substantially more voltage than the normal picture tubes, up to about 19,000 volts, I think. It's meant to use in lieu of a full-size picture tube when you work on sets on the workbench. Some of these like 19-inch metal cone sets, you don't want to have that up on your workbench. The shock hazard, the fragility of the picture tube, these are fantastic. It's not working right. In particular, what happens is it'll form an image, but you can't vary the brightness very much at all. I spent several hours troubleshooting a set, thinking there must be something wrong with the set because the brightness control wasn't doing anything, until I tried using a different picture tube and it worked just fine. And I just had popped this into a different chassis, exactly the same problem. So the problem lies in this. This is the only one I have. So they're not that easy to come by. So I really, really hate to lose it. So, I was going to test this with this, but now this doesn't work either. Yeah, I do have other picture tube testers, but this is... I like it because it's the easiest one to use, because it's the earliest one I have, and I don't need any adapters or anything. Just the basic connector is meant for all these late 40s, 50s picture tubes, which is just this guy. Just plug it in, and you go. So... It occurred to me, I don't know that I've ever shown you guys what's inside one of these, and I don't remember what condition this is in, but I've been using it for years with no trouble. I know there's not much in them. I'm hoping the rectifier or a filter cap is bad. What happens is the filament selector works. It'll light up the filament on the CRT, but these bulbs don't light up like they're supposed to, and you get absolutely nothing on the meter, no indication whatsoever. So what I propose doing is, let's see if we can fix this first, and I have a bunch of other picture tubes I can test it on that I know are good. And then let's check that guy. I'm hoping that guy has a G1 short that we can clear with this, or maybe my Suncor CR70, which is a bit more advanced. So it looks like we have some Phillips screws we need to take out. See, sometimes they include a schematic in the back of the owner's manual. If not, I think it's available online. Nuts. Okay, it's not in here. Alright. I think it's going to be simple enough. I don't even need a schematic, but if I need to, I'm pretty sure I can find one online. Also, I picked this guy up, I don't know, a couple years ago. I think it's a 445, yeah. A bit newer, got a lot more manuals, accessories. But it's in pretty miserable shape, which is why I haven't used it. It doesn't even seem to want to open. Let's see, you get into the newer stuff, you get a lot more adapters. This thing's even been spliced. Looks like they put longer wires on it. So I thought maybe I'd pop a look at this one. Actually, I kind of forgot how much of a mess this one is. Like I said, that's why I like the 440. It's simple, it's basic. I don't work on sets new enough generally to need all this extra complication. Let's see if there's a schematic for this, because I suspect they're pretty much the same. I think this just has more adapters, otherwise it looks like this part is identical. So, it looks like a whole bunch of setup charts, addendums, but whoever used this really, they kept up with all the notices about changes and updates and stuff. Yeah, jeez. Yeah, this guy really kept everything that came with it. Original, like bill of lading and stuff. Ooh. Even a little catalog in here in case you wondered how much this stuff cost back then. I don't think I've ever seen the B&K VTVM 375. $90 for that guy. $440. So this CRT tester cost $75. That was a lot of freaking money. It's probably early 60s, I'm guessing. Ooh, how much did a 1076 being? Ooh, TV on the list, $329. That's the early type. This is the even earlier type. $250. So that I'm pretty sure has a flying spot scanner in it. And that probably does too. I've never seen you get 50 color. Geez, a color bar generator was $200. Yeesh. What else we got in here? There's just a basic volt ohm meter, $60. So yeah, this stuff was not cheap. Alright, so there's no schematic and all this stuff. Alright. Okay, got all the screws out. This whole thing just lifts out. By the way, one thing that's kind of neat on both of these, so this is just, I think the 15GP22, the first color CRT, uses this giant socket. It's not for an electrostatic CRT, it's for really color CRTs. Oh, it's actually got a tube in it. The tube is bad. Alright. Boy, that is super, super, super clean inside. That's why another reason I like using this, it's in really nice condition. I'll be honest, I cannot remember the circumstances of how I came to own this tester. But it sure looks to me like I never opened it up. Probably just trusted whoever I got it from, and it worked, and when I tried it, it worked, and I just left it at that and used it for years. But it looks like it's 100% original inside. So that's a 6X4, it's a rectifier tube, yeah, it's a B&K branded rectifier tube. And 3 neon bulbs, we've got 2 transformers, some switches. We have one cap there, 0.1 microfarad, 1000 volt. If you ever wondered what rejuvenation did in one of these deals, you may have heard of this. We refer to as the atomic blast rejuvenation. It charges up this cap to hundreds of volts and discharges it through the cathode ray gun. That's it. That's all it does. And depending on which button you push, it charges it up to more voltage. You're just discharging a cap through the grid and the cathode. That's all it does. There's no control, no current limiting, no voltage regulation, nothing. And there's one electrolytic. It looks like really buried down in there. And 8 or so resistors. That's it. That's all that's in here. Not exactly a sophisticated device. So one of these will be a filament transformer with taps. I'm sure it's this guy with all these wires coming out to try the filament, and that'll be for the positive voltage supply. So what do you guys want to bet on what the problem is? I think it's always the caps. It's not going to be that because that's only used for rejuvenation. Could be the one electrolytic down there, but the neon bulbs don't work right either. So I'm thinking it's more likely just simply this tube is bad. Because that one electrolytic, I think, is used for the meter. I don't think they actually filter the B plus supply. I think it's just rectified. I'm going to drag out yet another tester. Huh. It's made in Japan. It's a B in case. Oh, it's a Hitachi tube. Huh. Let's start out by just using it as is and use what seems to be a broken tester with what seems to be a broken CRT. Just let's see what we get. Oh, filament's lighting up on the CRT, as it should. Dim the shop lights. Huh, and G2 is lighting. And I'm reading emissions. That's weird. None of this stuff was... Ooh, I have no cutoff control. Well, that would track with... Huh. Well, I'm going to get a good CRT up here. You know, it's not impossible that just by me opening this up and jostling things that it fixed it. I've certainly seen stranger things. Plus, if this is working right, it sure did indicate there's a problem with this, which I'm not at all happy about. Let's get a 10 BP4 up here that I know is good and test that. Alright, so this is most definitely a good picture tube. Came out of a working set. Just used it last night. Let's see what we get. Filament's lit up. So if this is working right, the left half of this light and this light should light up. And not that one. That's exactly what it's doing. Son of a gun. I guess I fixed my 440. Yeah, I mean, just I used this the other day that the needle was always at 0. Huh. Cut off. Needle should move when I move this knot. Yeah, this is working just fine. Huh. But notice when I tested that little test CRT, that light never came on. And the cutoff wasn't doing anything. That's really bad. Let's see, the inner cover of the tester will tell us what that means. There we go. So that indicates open G1, open control grid. Yeah, that's kind of game over. Ugh. Now you might be thinking, hey, well, I've got this open. Why don't I go through and service it? You know what? I'm not going to. I'll tell you why. Because it seems to be working fine. I don't use rejuvenation in this device ever, so I don't care about that cap. And the one electrolytic is seriously buried down there. To get at it, I got to take all this apart. I don't want to do that. And yeah, and the rest of it seems to be working okay, so I'm thinking there was something loose in here, and by taking it apart, it could have just been this tube needed to be reseated in the socket. That's it. One other reason why I don't want to mess with this is it's pristine. It's all original. I really don't want to tear it apart if I don't have to. Okay, so what to do about test CRT? I want to get on my Suncor CR70, which is a much newer tester, and it has some more advanced features. Now, officially, there is no way to fix an open grid. What could be causing it? Unfortunately, I re-glued the base. Otherwise, I could have, well, I mean, theoretically, I still could unsolder the pins, go into the base, cut through the glue, and remove the base. It could be the lead going through the glass to the base might have developed fatigue and broken. Or I can touch up the pins on the base, but I've already done that a few times. But it could be broken off internally. Well, officially, there's no way to fix that, but unofficially, I've seen tips and tricks where, well, you may have seen me re-weld a cathode in a video. So you can try to do a similar one through G1, where you basically put it in rejuvenation mode and crank up the heater voltage and tap the neck and hope that if the G1 lead is broken, that by tapping it and putting a lot of voltage on it, the ends will attract and spot weld themselves back together. That's a very dicey proposition, and I have very little hope that would work, and even if it did, I don't think it'd be a very reliable repair. Now I'm testing my 5AXP4 and my CR70s. Filament. Let's go 3. GK shorts. No. June shorts. Good. Cutoff. That I wasn't expecting. Wrong range there. We have fantastic cutoff control. Oh. That's odd. Well, if I crank the cutoff, I get good emissions, but you're supposed to set the cutoff inside the black box and then go to emissions. Crap when I do that. So it's like we do have good emissions and good cutoff, but not in the proper voltage range it's supposed to. Which could indicate the weird readings on the other tester. I am going to try auto restore. It's not rejuvenation. It's a bit different than that. And it's not doing anything. Something is up with this CRT. You auto restore, it's supposed to pulse the meter while you're holding the button down. And it's doing nothing. I suppose I can try one shot rejuvenation. This thing isn't working right anyways. I didn't do anything. There's supposed to be a flash in there. Didn't change any emissions at all. I'll still keep poking around with this, but something is up with the CRT. Might just be from years of use, it's finally worn out. Unfortunately, nothing I tried made any sense. I went through all the modes of manual restore, rejuvenation, clear short, even though I didn't have any. I'm kind of a loss, unless maybe it's starting to go gassy, although the two getters up here look really good. I don't know. I'll just keep it on the side for now, and I'll switch to using this guy, which is for somewhat later sets, but exactly the same base, and a little bit different deflection angle. This is 54 degrees. I think this is 90 or 70. And obviously it's rectangular, but you can certainly use it in round black and white sets. It's just it's not gonna fill the whole screen up. But yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. That's gonna be it for now. Hey, if anybody has a 5AXP4 for sale, shoot me a line. You'll probably be seeing this video before the video where I discovered that that's bad, which you probably find kind of amusing as I struggle through all sorts of troubleshooting before it occurs to me that that might be the problem. That's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching.